Game over, man. Game over.
Johnny.
You're gonna need a big approach.
Why so serious?
Roll out.
I am Iron Man.
This is a tasty burger.
Welcome to the In Session Film Podcast.
Welcome to Chasing the Gold. I'm In Session Film Awards editor Shadan. A mishmash episode for you guys again this week. Lots to talk about. We have Anthony Orlando here as my guest this week. Anthony, welcome to Chasing the Gold. Welcome to In Session Film. Thank you for
having me, Shadan.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. First of all, I know you through like the film sphere, I feel like, but I don't know that much about you otherwise. So tell me about you, your relationship to film, awards, podcasts, all that kind of stuff.
Well, thank you for asking that. I've spent the past 5 years working as a freelance entertainment journalist. I've worked for a bunch of different publications writing about film and television. I've written for BuzzFeed, Screen Rant, CBR. Most notably, I'm writing for Digital Trends right now. All in all, I've been so into storytelling and visual storytelling. That's pretty much where I fall into. So so that's really why a film just appealed to me so much, and I started studying it. As far back as middle school, but I knew I really wanted to be a filmmaker myself, when I was in high school. So that was one of my majors in college. And once I got out, I just started to cover things in the film industry. I even became a script reader for the Austin Film Festival. Outside of that, I've worked a bunch of different productions, either as just a background extra or just a PA. I've made my own short films, won some awards, and also I've with the rising of the film industry here in New Jersey. I spent the better part of a year working as an assistant for the State Film Commission. So I've really immersed myself in that industry, and it's just the industry I really want to be a part of.
Cool. Well, in terms of being a PA and all that kind of stuff, do you have a certain set experience as your favorite, or something that you're able to talk about, just in terms of a pinch me moment of I don't know, somebody you got to meet, or a scene you got to be in, anything like that?
There's I've got a lot of great stories that I want to share, though some of them they made me sign in some NDAs, so I don't think I'm at a position to really reveal some.
Yeah, we're not trying to get you in trouble here. Yeah.
Yeah, all in all, I just felt. I think the biggest thing that I can talk about right now is recently I was a PA on this film with J.K. Simmons. It was just a small independent production. I started out as a PA, but then I rose up to be a second AC, and I even got to escort a JK around the set a bit. So all in all, it was a really intimate sort of experience with this high-profile talent, but it was also sort of a family sort of project. It was him and his daughter acting together on the screen, and I'm really excited to see where that film goes. So I'll be happy to share more about it.
Are you allowed to share the title?
Yeah, it's 109 billion followers. It's directed by Ella Tier.
Okay, very cool. Well, I'm assuming that he's not his Whiplash character in real life. I would hope.
Oh no, it's quite the opposite.
Is it State Farm that J.K. Simmons does? That always cracks me up that he won an Oscar and he's still doing his insurance commercials, which is fine. J.K., get the bag, get your money. I totally respect it. But that always just cracks me up that he's been loyal to that brand for so long. He'll go do his big budget stuff, and then he'll still show up on my TV screen, which I think is great.
Yeah, it's not quite like his State Farm commercials. It's a very a different sort of character. I won't spoil too much. So, but it's a pretty interesting premise, and I think the fans are gonna love it.
That sounds awesome. Well, speaking of things that the fans love, I feel like I have egg on my face a little bit because for those of you who live under a rock and don't know, Spider-Man Brand New Day came out this week and it made $1 billion. It's the highest domestic box office opening of all time, and I think the second highest global box office opening of all time, and it's the second fastest film ever to hit $1 billion at the global box office. I was under the impression that we are kind of over Marvel a little bit. I knew Spider Man was a popular character. I didn't know he was this popular. I had no idea people were going to show up the way that they did, especially given that the Odyssey made as much money as they did. I thought maybe people were scrounging cash together a little bit. All of this to say, I guess I just don't understand the box office trends as much as I thought I did. I don't know, Anthony, do you have any thoughts about this in terms of I mean, I think this last weekend was actually the highest grossing box office in history with Toy Story 5, The Odyssey and Spider-Man Brand New Day like all bringing in boatloads of money. So, where do you have any thoughts on this? Where are you falling on sort of what is driving audiences right now?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. I mean, personally, I've been a huge fan of Spider-Man for like since like childhood. So, I mean, he really appeals to a lot of people. I mean, like he's already like considered like one of like the top superheroes of all time. So, like, it's no wonder that he's gonna at least bring in like quite a few people. And like, but I mean, even though like Marvel like had a bit of a rough patch, I feel like there's like that select few iconic characters like that everyone's just gonna go in and see a movie about. I mean, like he's up there like with Batman and Superman. I mean, like they're just like guaranteed cash cows, if I may use that phrase. But all in all, it's not just about brand recognition. Like it's like the story behind it. I mean, I mean, with the previous film he did, like it was like such like a shocking and emotional cliffhanger with his journey, and from what we've seen there, it really brought things back to basics with his character. I mean, like he's not really like a. I mean, he wasn't living with Aunt May. I mean, he didn't have any Tony Stark tech. He was just like a regular guy living on his own, trying like to do his best to protect the people of New York. And like he really appeals. He really connects with a lot of people like who've gone through those similar struggles. I mean, like I myself, like as someone living it working and living in my 20s. I mean, he's just basically he's like all of us, just going trying to do his job every day. But like, there's also like that relatable feeling of isolation going on there in his life as he's just trying to be with his friends again. But he's also got a job to do, and that made for like really just like one of the most like heartfelt movies that Marvel's done like in years, in my opinion, and I think that's a lot of the reason why the film is succeeding in theaters. I mean, they just like don't like want just like regular IPs. They want like a real intimate stories, and that's why we've seen movies like Obsession, The Odyssey, Project Hail Mary. Just like that's why we've been seeing those original stories just like succeeding in theaters lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely thought it was gonna do well. Don't get me wrong. I think just the $1 billion in like less than 10 days has kind of blown my mind a little bit. I didn't realize he was as beloved. I think you're right. I think the last film did do a really good job of setting up the stakes, which I think Marvel has always had a problem with their films sort of feeling like, well, we know they're gonna be back, so it's not a big deal. So I think that is sort of what was driving the people. And I mean, I will just say, like, I really did like Spider-Man Brand New Day a lot. It felt like a classic Spider-Man story. It almost felt like it was like self-contained outside of all the MCU stuff. Like it kind of stood on its own a little bit. I liked it very much. I'm not to be a Tom Holland hater. I think he's 1,000 times better in Spider-Man Brand New Day than he was in the Odyssey. I really liked his performance a lot. I connected with it a lot emotionally. I did say this to my friend, like as we were leaving, that I wish that they would have raised the stakes of Brand New Day a little bit. It kind of felt like I don't know, the ending was like a little bit predictable to me, but I really liked the film. I thought it was so visually interesting. Like there were so many sequences just of him swinging around New York that were so beautiful, and like the some of the battling sequences with which Marvel has sort of struggled with, of making their big battles look cool, look different and look interesting. I thought looked really good. Um yeah, so I this is one of the stronger sort of MCU films in a long time, and I'm glad that Spider-Man is sort of has remained like a solid franchise, because I think a lot of their franchises are struggling, but I like that we can kind of rely on these Spider-Man films to give us like a good theatrical experience. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do have a love-hate relationship with Marvel, as I've said, but I can get behind Spider-Man Brand New Day, and it was nice to see. I don't know who tweeted this. It might have been Brian Rowe, but he said Tom Holland's performance raised the score of Spider-Man Brand New Day by 1 point, and lowered the score of The Odyssey by 1 point, and that's true range as an actor. And I'm like, yeah, I very much agree that I've been all over the place with Tom Holland recently. I'm sorry, Tom. I do love Tom Holland very much. I'm curious what his range is as an actor, because I just feel like maybe it's a little bit more limited than what I thought it was, but what he does well. So
Mm.
good for him. Do you have any Oscar thoughts on Spider-Man? Do you think visual effects? I think the score was really good. Michael Giacchino, I think at the very least, is going to be shortlisted. Do you think this is going to be an awards player for Marvel potentially, Anthony?
Uh, yeah, at least in the technical aspects of the film, because with the Oscars, like there's always a bit of like a stigma towards superhero movies. I mean, because we've rarely seen superhero movies get win Oscars for best picture or best like screenplay or like best acting. I mean, and Marvel, like they've done, and they've at least got like a lot of nominations in terms of the visual effects. From what I recall, that was the case with the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie and Avengers: Infinity War. But I feel like that people like are really starting to open up to superhero movies a bit. I mean, and there have been like some special cases where they've gone like beyond with it, like the acting and just like overall creative direction. I mean, like with films like Logan, Black Panther, The Dark Knight. I mean, those really like broke new ground, and just really told it really like serious and just like really necessary stories that like a lot of people really got behind. And on a like a brand new day, like that was still like a really important story. Like it said like a lot about like just mental health, and just like people just the need to connect with each other, and just like rely on each other and help each other. I mean, I think that's like what's was made it the probably my favorite Spider-Man movie ever.
Mm.
I mean, before I think No Way Home was actually like the top one for me, but like I just think this one really took the cake.
Even over the Tobey Maguire like OG Spider-Man movies, you think this is like
Eh,
your all-time?
don't me wrong. I mean, like Spider-Man Two is like is like still top tier for me as well. Personally, I felt like some aspects of it like don't quite age as well, but it's like it's still like a really great in terms of like emotional storytelling and like distinctive creative style. And that's one thing like I feel like that superhero movies have struggled to do now, because like a lot of them just feel like studio projects rather than like individual directors own movies. But like as we've seen like with Brand New Day, like there was like a much more distinctive sort of visual style, like with the camera work and the mix of practical and digital effects. Like it even stood out more than like the previous Spider-Man trilogy, directed by John Watts. So, I feel like that this one really recognized that it was Destin Daniel Cretton's movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Destin Daniel Cretton, like he did a really, really, really good job with um with Brand New Day, and I just feel like, and I just have to say with Wonder Man getting canceled, which is a darn shame. A bunch of words that I can't say on this show. But so I'm glad that he had this moment, and I hope that Marvel sort of uses him well in the future. Like he's such a genuine talent, and I feel like that's kind of where I am with the MCU now. Is like, I remember 10 years ago, like my friends and I would sit around and we would think about like what actors we liked and oh, we hope they get to be part of the MCU. And now I feel like that's reversed for me a little bit, where when an actor I like gets announced for a Marvel project, I get worried for them because I'm like, I don't want them to waste 10 years of their life, doing MCU stuff. I said this with David Johnson. I genuinely think David Johnson is a generational talent. And do I think he's going to be a
Absolutely.
great Black Panther? Yeah, I do think he's going to be a great Black Panther. I'm so excited for that casting announcement. But at the same time, it's like, this is somebody that I could see winning an Oscar in the next decade or so. And I'm like, I want the Marvel experience to be a benefit to his career. And I felt the same thing watching Sadie Sink in Spider-Man. I just think she's so talented, and I like appreciate that these actors, they need to get paid, and Marvel is a great opportunity for them. I get it, but part of me is just like, what incredible work could we possibly be missing from Sadie Sink, because she could be potentially in the MCU for the next decade or so of her life. I don't know. I want to have hope for the future of the MCU, but I'm kind of torn at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I get like that there are like a lot of other great projects they could be doing, but it's like we shouldn't like. I mean, we just really like and still need to see the MCU, like it really has like a lot of potential to like to present like such great stories. I mean, like I feel like that we're really just really a lot of people just really try like to separate that from like the rest of cinema. Like when it is like like despite like their flaws, they're still like a spectacular pieces of cinema, and particularly when like the directors and everyone's just creative talents are really put on display and present such like a unique a film. I feel like that's like when like the Marvel universe really shines.
Yeah, I think as you said, I think when you let the directors like have their vision, like a Ryan Coogler, like a Destin Daniel Cretton, like that's when we get the really good movies. So I hope we have more of that going forward. And I have to say, I was worried about Avengers Doomsday in terms of like, are people gonna show up? And now that Spider-Man has done as well as it has, I'm like, oh, I don't think the MCU needs to worry about Doomsday being a bomb. Do they need to worry about Doomsday quality? Maybe. I don't know if it's going to be Spider-Man level quality, but I don't think they need to worry about if people are going to give them the money or not. I think this kind of proves that it's like when it's the characters that they care about, they will come back to the movie. So at least that's potentially working in Marvel's favor. Who knows?
Right. I mean, and from what I've seen from the Russo brothers with their films with Captain America and the Avengers, like they always like knocked it out of the park. So, I mean, like I have high hopes for what they're doing with Doomsday and Secret Wars. I mean, like I still have some reservations, but like I'm still like going in with an open mind.
Yeah, I definitely have my reservations, but I think post Spider Man, I'm feeling more positive just because leaving the movies, I was like, I do enjoy these Marvel movies. I had a good time. And so I think maybe it just serves as a reminder of like, I think more people will feel the way that I feel of like, these movies can be fun sometimes. And that works in Doomsday's favor. Now I hope that they take, they don't destroy that goodwill necessarily, but I think this leaves Marvel in a really good position. And I do think like these new casting announcements people are really excited by. I just have to say, I think the cancellation of Wonder Man is such a shame. I think Yahya Abdul Mateen is one of, again, like the most talented actors we have working right now, and to cancel a show post Emmy nomination and post season 2 renewal is just baffling to me. So I really do wish, I guess they would figure out their TV division and what exactly they're going for. Like, what is the point? It was great to see sort of the Punisher in Brand New Day, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think the MCU they have some thinking to do, but it's great to know that they can deliver the quality when called upon.
Right, and talk talking about quality, I mean, I feel like that so with the whole thing with the Marvel Television, like they're trying to prioritize quality over quantity, and because like they've been trying like to shell out so many films and TV shows all at once for a while, and that really harmed them with the last within the last few years. So I feel like that they're just like trying to focus more like on a few select projects, which I felt maybe contributed to Wonder Man's cancellation. I mean, and personally, I was really surprised by what happened with that. I mean, like even like with the Emmy nomination, but all in all, I feel like that perhaps they'll really like find a way to bring them back to down the line, and hopefully they'll listen to the fans and bring that back, because I mean, as we've seen, like it's been like one of the more like acclaimed and successful MCU shows. So I think again, they just need to focus on like more on what works, and just like building up from that, rather than just trying to do like so much different things all at once.
Can I just say before we move on from Spider-Man that I very much appreciated that this movie kept basically a bunch of my favorite TV supporting performers. Gave them. We had John Bernthal as the Punisher, and then you've got the great Liza Colin-Zayas, who was like a great detective. I usually I don't really care that much about movie detectives, but the fact that she made us care about Detective DeVolf so much, and I kind of love that relationship. And then you had Tremel Tillman, who was a great kind of semi, baddie or another kind of suit character. So good for them for, again, collecting their paychecks, and they did a great job. So, and then I also just loved Naomi Watts as the voice of Edie. She brought a lot of warmth. It was a good cameo. It was a lot of fun.
Right, and I especially loved Holland and Bernthal together. Like they just like had like that brotherly dynamic. I mean, they're just like always fighting, but like when the chips are down, like they're always just like there like to support each other. Like and it's just it was really heartwarming to see.
Yeah, and I haven't seen The Punisher, but I was like, should I watch it? Like, I really love John Bernthal, and he's so good as that character. So I was like, I guess I do have to give one of these Marvel TV shows a
Yeah,
shot.
I mean, yeah, there were some Marvel things that I really need to catch up on. I mean, but it's really great that they're bringing like all the good stuff from like from television over to the big screen.
Yeah, I'm so curious to see if there's gonna be more of that, or if it depends on like the star power of the person, or all. I'm very like, how are they gonna incorporate it in the future, or are they gonna incorporate it? I'm very curious, like moving forward. That's one of the big kind of question marks that I'm staying invested in to see what they do with like merging TV and film, or if they just kind of let it die eventually. I don't know. Who knows? But I wanted to talk also about, this is not a great transition, guys. I'm sorry. But speaking of all things New York and Spider-Man, I guess, I wanted to talk about the lineup for the New York Film Festival. Solid lineup, to say the least. A really, really good lineup. Anthony, was there anything about this lineup of films that sort of jumped out to you immediately?
Yeah, there were a couple. I mean, for one thing, there's Paper Tiger that was filmed by director James Gray. I mean, I don't know if you remember, he did Armageddon Time, Ad Astra, The Lost City of Z. I mean,
I'm a
like
huge James Gray fan. I have been for years. I would love for this to be an awards breakthrough for him. Like, I love James Gray.
yeah, I mean, for what I've heard, like it's got like some pretty good reviews, and all I'm just really excited to see where that goes. I mean, like I might have to go and see the screening myself. And and like another like special thing that they're showing there is Godzilla Minus Zero. I mean, I've been like a fan of the director's work since since Minus One. I mean, personally, I think that was like one of like the probably like the best Godzilla movie ever. I mean, it was just like it really bounced like those spectacular visuals, but like it really told like a really good story like about humanity itself. And that's personally where I felt like that the where like the Hollywood monster versus really like fell short with its movies. So I'm really and with the effects, like now they have like a much bigger budget. Like I'm really excited to see what they do with this one.
I completely agree. I'm so excited for Godzilla minus zero. I went to see minus one, kind of like, I guess I'll, see this Godzilla movie, whatever, and I just enjoyed it so much. Um, I also just want to shout out Mike Lee's Tender Loving Care. As we mentioned last week, I think he said that this is going to be his last film, and I just love Mike Lee, and I'm very excited. The Unknown from Arthur Harari, another one that I've said I've been looking forward to. We've got Rose starring the great Sandra Hüller. Um, we've got and then we've got My Undesirable Friends Part 2. This one's called Exile. And it's 355 minutes long. So I think the first one was 5 hours plus, and this one, someone do the math on what 355. And then also we've got a Misty Green from Chris Rock, which is sort of building some momentum. I think I've seen a lot of sort of a big push for Misty Green and some good hype on that one. Minotaur, Ira Sachs's The Man I Love is going to be there. A Long Winter from Andrew Haig, I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah, and a couple more. There's 14th by Ava DuVernay, as well as Behemoth. This one has Pedro Pascal. It's also directed by Tony Gilroy. You may remember, like he made Star Wars Andor. So I mean, like this is like a pretty like surprising like shift. Like he's going from to space fights to just to music and just like the cello. So that'd be pretty interesting to see how he tackles that.
I totally agree. Also, Powell Palkowski's Fatherland, also starring Sandra Hüller. And I'm just going to say again, a film that not enough people are talking about, and I think underestimating, is Clarissa. It's an adaptation of Mrs. Dalloway, starring Sophie Okonedo. I think this is going to be very good. And if it's not, it's going to be the kind of movie that I love. I feel like somebody made this movie, especially for me. Uh, and then, of course, we've got Hamaguchi's All of a Sudden, which I'm just so excited to see. The leads won the Best Actress prize at Cannes, and I've just heard such incredible things about that film. You've got Almodovar's Bitter Christmas. This is such a strong lineup. We were talking before we started recording about how we're trying to figure out our scheduling and like which festivals are we going to make it to, but this looks like it's going to be a really good festival season. And I think we're getting the Telluride lineup in a couple days. But what do you make of sort of these films that are, they're sort of, we can kind of tell like these are the films of the fall that we're going to be talking about, because we've gotten these certain titles that have come up again and again. Fatherland, All of a Sudden. Now we've got, Ava DuVernay back in the mix. Is something sort of jumping out to you as something you really want to see, something you think we're not talking about enough, overhyped, underhyped? What's your read on sort of these titles that have emerged for the fall?
Well, personally, the few that I'm personally interested, I mean, there's Behemoth and Paper Tiger and 14th. I think those are like the top three contenders that like I'm particularly interested in. I mean, like there may be some there on the list that like aren't getting like as much as attention, at least from me. So I mean, I think it's so I think that's really important, like why they get like this sort of platform and just like to share with all these different audiences and just see what really sticks. So I mean, like if there's something that really pops, I'm really open like to seeing like just to seeing more, you know.
I completely agree. I think my number one most anticipated of the film of 2026 has been Hamaguchi's All of a Sudden. It remains Hamaguchi's All of a Sudden. I feel like if that film disappoints me, that's it may be too much to take. I'm just so excited to see that film. Um I'm sort of looking through the premises of these films that I am not as familiar with, and now I'm like this one seems interesting. It's Everything Else is Noise, and it says a middle-aged composer allows her friend to use her apartment to film a television interview. So it's like it says feminist-minded domestic comedy, an expert blend of realism and subtle absurdity. That sounds great. Sign me up for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, like I think that's something I might see as well.
I rarely wake up dreaming, a timely and tender account of internal and external transformations from German filmmaker Isabel Stever. Drama centering on a young queer couple. That sounds fine. This is what's hard. If I do make it to New York, I think I'm just gonna be like, how do I fit all of these films into my schedule? And then we have, I want to say, The Man I Love, the Ira Sachs film. I think maybe Rami Malek could be a player this season, and I've been underestimating him. So I want to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's all just looks like really great stuff. I mean, it's just you feel like a kid at a candy store.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And I need to get to My Undesirable Friends Part 1. I've heard just incredible things about it. So I will get to that one, and then I'll see this new one. I want to read. It says, in an expansive and equally intimate second chapter of her monumental documentary, Julia Loktev traces the paths of a network of fiercely outspoken broadcast journalists endangered for dissent against the Putin regime across Europe and even further afield. Wow.
Wow, I
So,
mean, so this one's about journalists. I mean, like this one like intrigues me even more.
and then we have Possible Love. It says the lives of two married couples from different social strata collide,
And
which
what about? I'm sorry to interrupt, but like I
no,
was gonna,
go ahead, please.
yeah. And what about Once Upon a Time in Harlem? Did we mention that?
No, I'm scrolling ferociously. Tell me more. Oh, here we go. Is it a, is it a doc or is it
I mean,
a?
yeah, it sounds like it. It says in 1972, legendary filmmaker William Greaves had gathered an extraordinary group of artists, writers, actors, musicians, and thinkers of the Harlem Renaissance. After more than 50 years, his son David Greaves has completed his breathtaking miracle of a movie. That sounds like a pretty exciting time capsule.
And it's from Neon, so that means that
Oh, I
it's
love
being
Neon.
it's gonna get pushed. So that could be a major documentary contender. I very ashamedly just now got around to seeing I Am Not Your Negro fairly recently. Speaking of Harlem Renaissance, it made me think of James Baldwin, but that I love anything having to do with the Harlem Renaissance. So this is very, very, yeah, this is going like top of my list.
Awesome.
Yeah. You mentioned possibly wanting to head to Toronto. Is there a title there that you're excited to see?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what the schedule is going to be if I'm going to be able to see it, but there's going to be the early premiere of Mike Flanagan's Carrie. I think it's they're airing the first two episodes there. I mean, I'm a huge Mike Flanagan fan. I love his work, especially The Haunting of Hill House, Midnight Mass, Doctor Sleep. I mean, he was like a huge inspiration for me when I was in college, and I'm really psyched to see what he does with this other Stephen King novel and which I actually just finished reading for the first time for the show.
Mm. Where did you fall on Life of Chuck? Did you like it?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I mean, like it was. I feel like, and not enough people just really appreciate it as much. I mean, like it's like one of those like enjoyable like slice of life films, but it's also got like that gritty like a Stephen King sort of realism. I mean, it's space. I mean, like a lot of people compared it to "It's a Wonderful Life," and I couldn't agree more. It's that film for our generation.
Mm. Wow. Okay. I'm a big Mike Flanagan fan. I will He's one of those directors that if he's attached to anything, I make sure to see it. Because I
Yeah.
mean, you mentioned The Haunting of Hill House. Like I genuinely believe The Haunting of Hill House is like maybe top 3 things that net original content that Netflix has done. That
Oh, definitely.
show like meant so much to me, and it's forever like one of the unsung things that I think people just don't appreciate enough. So it's a good idea. Maybe I should read Carrie as well. I mentioned a few weeks ago on Chasing the Gold, they did an adaptation of Misery at the theater here, and I loved it. And I hadn't seen the movie, I hadn't read the book, so I loved the play, and I was like, let me go back. And so then I read the book, and then I just very recently, yesterday, the day before, watched the 1990 film from the late great Rob Reiner. And now I was like, oh, I totally get why Kathy Bates, won the Oscar. Is it great? It's interesting because the film and the movie are so different. And that's what I like about the Stephen King adaptations that I've seen, is like I feel like a lot of them sort of live on their own. I also,
Yeah.
speaking of David Johnson, just watched The Long Walk,
Oh yeah, I
which
loved him
I
in that
which
movie.
I thought was just so good, and he completely blew me away. I just love him. I cannot say enough about like how much I love Rye Lane. I just think anything I've seen him in is so good. So if you're not familiar with David Johnson and you're like, who is Shadan talking about over and over again, look up David Johnson's filmography. There's so much there. I mean, David Alien Romulus, like he's just such a talented actor. Love some Coop Love me some Cooper Hoffman as well. I really wanted to see I Want Your Sex this week, and I just didn't get around to it. But I plan on seeing it at some point because I'm embracing the year of Olivia Wilde. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the combination of Cooper Hoffman and Olivia Wilde. I think that'll be fun. So that will
Yeah, I
hopefully I
need
can
to.
talk about that next week.
Yeah, I mean, like I mean, I need to see "I Want Your Sex" and "The Invite." I mean, like I've heard like a lot of great things about the both of them. Like they're on my radar as well. And let's see, was there anything else? Oh yeah, and in terms of what else is playing at Toronto, like there's also I Play Rocky, like it's that biopic about how Stallone made Rocky. I mean, like it was, I mean, like that's personally on my radar because it was also filmed here in New Jersey, represent. So, and
Yeah,
there's this,
I said this last week. I'm so mixed on that because it seems like an interesting premise to me. I like films that are about the making of other films. I think that's cool. But Peter Farrelly just does not inspire confidence in me. So we'll see. I'll go in with an open mind.
yeah, I mean, like, and that's what we should all do. I mean, like, we shouldn't like pass judgment until we actually see it for ourselves. And there's also Ink. That's Danny Boyle, who directed the 28 Days Later. And it's also got Jack O'Connell, who was just recently in the franchise's last film, The Bone Temple. I mean, I love them both. So one of my favorite films of the year so far. So, like, if I'm able to catch that, I'll be sure to catch it. And I also heard about Bad Lieutenant Tokyo. Like Matt Neglia from Next Best Picture, like just did a post on it. Like, and I saw the trailer. I was like, wow. When I saw like it was the guy who directed Audition doing this, I was like, wow. I mean, like, I
Mm.
just really see this.
Speaking of TIFF titles, though, they announced that Poetic License from Maud Apatow, which premiered at TIFF last year, has been pushed to 2027. And I'm kicking myself because I missed it at TIFF and I missed it at South by Southwest. So I'm mad that I have to wait that long to see it. But that also is, speaking of Cooper Hoffman, has Cooper Hoffman in the lead. So I'm just really excited for anything that Cooper Hoffman wants to do, anything that these young generation of actors wants to do gets me.
Yeah.
I'm seated, as the children like to say.
Yeah, I mean, like, and don't take my word for it, but like, I heard like that he was possibly being considered to be Cyclops in the new X-Men movie. I mean, I'm not really sure.
Oh
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
like that. I mean, that's maybe just been like a rumor or something. I mean, like, yeah, don't take my word for it, but I mean, but hey, I'm still excited to see that. I mean,
I mean, we got Samara Weaving. Wasn't she announced as Emma Frost? So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and I
confirmed.
heard
She's
that.
been confirmed according
Yeah,
to
and I heard
Deadline.
Yeah, and I heard Indy Navarrete said she was interested in playing Mystique in that movie. So I mean, like, so we got like a lot of pretty good names circling the cast so far. So
I know, and we mentioned Sadie Sink, but yeah, even the idea of Sadie Sink and Samara Weaving as like our two confirmed cast members get me really excited. And then, man, throw in Cooper Hoffman and Indy Navarrete. Everything I said about Marvel 20 minutes ago of like doubts, maybe that'll,
yeah,
maybe I'll, that'll sell me. Just the casting, which Marvel has always been so good at that.
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Which, speaking of Oscars for Spider-Man Brand New Day, I mean, I mentioned visual effects. I really think the Michael Giacchino score, but at some point I would like somebody from Marvel to be nominated and or win the casting Oscar, because I think some of the casting in these Marvel films is genuinely a stroke of genius. Like, to find Chris Hemsworth and be like, he should play Thor, or like Sadie Sink as like a young Jean Grey. Like, it's just, they're really good at sort of matching these roles. Like, I think, and they bring out a lot of really good in their actors when they're given
Absolutely.
the material.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, like the Academy, like recognizes more of these superhero movies for what they are. I mean, like, I mean, they're still cinema, and they should be treated as such.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely they have their low points, as does any long running franchise. But when they hit, and they should be regarded as such. So, Anthony, I wanted to ask you. I mentioned, so I saw Spider Man, I saw Misery. I think that's everything that I saw. I'm still, for those of you who have become invested in this, I'm still in the middle of my binge watch of The Americans. I'm on season 5. It's very, very good. I'm probably gonna finish it soon, much sooner than I should. But is there any movies, television, media that you've sort of engaged with this week that you enjoyed or just want to chat about for a little bit?
Let's see. This week, I mean, I still got some things that are on my watch list. I know Ted Lasso is coming back tonight, so like me and my mom are really excited like to watch that again. And I also need to catch up on House of the Dragon. Like it's this new season's been like a really good so far. Like it's, I mean, like Game of Thrones is back and it's like it's better than ever. So I mean, like, I'm really looking forward to seeing where the show goes.
Yeah, I speaking of things to watch with your mom, my mom and I have been watching The Golden Girls, which I have
Well, I
seen
love that
most
show.
of. Yeah, but we've like started it from the beginning, because I'm like, every time they show it on TV, they kind of skip around. So like, I don't want to miss any episodes. So I'm watching it from the beginning, and I'm just consistently shocked at how much they got away with in like 1985. Like,
You know,
my 2026, like, some of the jokes, like, I'm like clutching my pearls a little bit, and I'm like, they said this on television in 1985. Crazy. Not to mention, like, 26 episodes a season pretty consistently is just wild. Like, I
yeah.
don't know, our brains nowadays um can't comprehend. But okay, so Anthony, to wrap up, the great Chris Tapley, which, again, if you're living under a rock and don't know who Chris Tapley is, he was the former awards editor at Variety, one of like the original awards prognosticators, one of the best awards prognosticators of any era. He posted an interesting tweet over the last week where he like did his own version of the Oscars, but every category had a winner from a Christopher Nolan film. So his winner for Best Picture was Dunkirk. For director, Interstellar. Actor, Guy Pearce for Memento. Actress, Anne Hathaway in The Odyssey, which is wild to think about. Supporting actor, he gave Heath Ledger for The Dark Knight. Supporting actress, Rebecca Hall for The Prestige. Adapted screenplay, The Odyssey. Original screenplay, Memento. Casting, Oppenheimer. Cinematography, Dunkirk. Costume design, The Odyssey. Film editing, Inception. Makeup and hairstyling, he gave to The Dark Knight. Original score to Interstellar. Production design, The Prestige. Sound, Dunkirk. Stunt design to Tenet. And visual effects to Interstellar. So, Anthony, if you were to make your own version of the Nolan Oscars, what would your winners be, you think?
That's a really good question. I mean, all in all, I think my candidate for best to picture it would probably be between the Dark Knight, Oppenheimer, or the Odyssey. I mean, though I think my top two would be Oppenheimer and the Odyssey. I mean, for best director, I mean, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's like really hard to pick because like they're all just like really great films, and it's like, I mean, personally, I would give it to Nolan for The Odyssey. For Best Actor, I mean, I think Cillian Murphy still deserves Best Actor as Oppenheimer. Best Actress, I mean, Anne Hathaway. I mean, I loved her as Penelope. I mean, she really like nailed it with me. Like with that scene with Tom Holland. I mean, it's probably her best performance yet. I mean, supporting actor. I mean, like, still got to give it to Heath Ledger. I mean, like, he's the GOAT. And for best supporting actress, let's see. I probably have to give that to Jessica Chastain for Interstellar, just off the top of my head. I've really developed like a newfound love for Interstellar recently, as I really
Me too.
dove back into Nolan's filmography. I mean, like, I'm glad like so many people are really loving Interstellar so much. I mean, and I especially love the score. And I guess I could just like skip ahead to say that best original score would go to Interstellar. So for best adapted screenplay, I mean, perhaps I think the Odyssey would work there, but it's like I also am considering would the Dark Knight qualify, because like
Yeah, that's what I was gonna pick for best adapted screenplay, was The Dark Knight. So I'll let you have it so I can have it too.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know it's like comes from like a bunch of different comic books as inspiration. So, I mean, I think it's like between those two. And as for best original screenplay, I mean, like, I gotta give like a shout out to Memento, but I also think that perhaps Inception and Interstellar deserve to be recognized for their screenplays, because like it's just like to take those like complex and clever ideas and just like to put them in such like an emotional narrative. Yeah, I think those films, like, they deserve more credit for their screenplay. And as for casting, I mean, like Oppenheimer and the Odyssey, they got like they both got like a bunch of like the biggest stars in the world, and they utilize their talents extremely well. And I know you don't like, and I know you think that Tom Holland didn't do as well as the Odyssey, but like I felt like at least with the time he had, like he did like a pretty like terrific performance, because like his acting was more like reserved. I mean, there was like a lot more subtlety in there. It's a more, I mean, like, he's a youthful, but he's also got like that royal composure there that he really balances well. Like, and I felt like he could have like done like a lot more, but like a lot of the time was devoted to Odysseus. So, so there's that. As for cinematography, I mean, it's probably had to give that to Interstellar. I mean, like the cosmic visuals in there like are just incredible. And film editing, I mean, I feel like it's also got to be in session, because like like to sync up all those different dreams and different levels, I think that's it was pretty spectacular. And just for makeup and hairstyling, yeah, I think I might have to give it to The Dark Knight, but I think the Odyssey would also have to be a runner-up, because just like to bring all those different period characters to life. I mean, though I feel like that perhaps that's more with costume design, but they did like spectacularly well. I mean, with Heath Ledger as the Joker, like this complete icon. And for production design, I mean, I don't know. I mean, perhaps like Prestige is deserves it. I mean, like, it's not like one of my favorite Nolan films, so like I might have to revisit that, and like perhaps like I change my pick, but I think it has to be the Odyssey or Interstellar there, and for that category. For sound, I think I also have to do the Odyssey, because just like because just for the Cyclops scene alone, with what they did with the creature's voice, I mean, it was just like haunting. I mean, like, it sounds just it's completely like otherworldly. I mean, it's just like they say like he's like talking to Poseidon, but like it sounds like it's something from like a primal like divine tongue that none of us can truly comprehend. And as for stunt design, I mean, yeah, I think it's with between Tenet and The Dark Knight. I mean, like, I do like Tenet from like a technical perspective, but I still consider like it's one of Nolan's weaker films. And as for visual effects, I mean, yeah, I got to give it to Interstellar. I mean, like the way like And I know like a lot of people say, I mean, Nolan's known for his like practical effects, but like with the mix of just like both the practical and just like the digital, like with Interstellar, with the different planets, the wormhole, Gargantua, like it's an all timer right there.
Well, Anthony, you did very well with that
Thank you.
exercise. I'm very proud. Although I do have to disagree with you because my pick for picture is The Prestige. It's my favorite Christopher Nolan film.
Really,
A lot of Christopher Nolan films I have difficulty rewatching because I just feel like they're so long and they feel like not necessarily fun to rewatch. But I've just put The Prestige on like so many times over the years. I love it so much. So that would be my pick for picture. For director, oh man, I think I'm maybe go with like either The Dark Knight or The Odyssey. Honestly, I just think those two films had such a like distinct vision in my opinion. And then in terms of actress, I'm gonna cheat. I know I shouldn't, but it's my podcast, so I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna put Rebecca Hall in lead so that I can give, yeah, I'll give lead actress to Rebecca Hall, even though she's technically supporting. And then for supporting, I'm gonna go with Samantha Morton in The Odyssey. It's legitimately one of my favorite performances in all of Christopher Nolan's filmography. I think she's phenomenal. I'm gonna be on the awards campaign for her so hard this entire season. She's incredible.
same here.
So yeah. So Rebecca Hall for lead. We got Samantha Morton supporting. Heath Ledger, of course, like one of the great supporting roles, not just of Nolan verse, but in general. And then lead actor, I'll go Nolan and Oppenheimer. Casting, I'll do Oppenheimer. Adapted screenplay. See, I'll say adapted screenplay, The Dark Knight for sure. Original, I would give it to. I think Memento is a good call because that is such an original film. I really love
Absolutely.
Memento a lot, and I really like Insomnia. I feel like we don't talk about Insomnia. People forget about Insomnia. I really
Yeah, I
enjoy
mean,
Insomnia quite a bit.
yeah, I mean,
But
honestly, like, I still haven't seen Insomnia. Like, I really should. I mean, like, it's got the late great Robin Williams. I mean, come on.
it's really good. Like Hilary Swank, that's another one that I think should be interesting for Nolan to work with again in terms of actors that he would come back to. I think Hilary Swank and Guy Pearce would be fun to see them back in a Nolan film. Casting, I think Oppenheimer is a great call. Cinematography, definitely agree with you. It has to be Interstellar. Costume design, I'd give it to The Odyssey. I think Inception for film editing is a good call. Definitely Interstellar for score. Production design, The Prestige, absolutely. The costume design and The Prestige is really good as well.
Yeah, looking on
Um,
back on it, yeah, it's really good.
Basically, if I have not mentioned, The Prestige is my top choice for these categories. It's my number two. Uh, sound. Sound is interesting. Maybe The Odyssey. I think the sound in oh my gosh, in Oppenheimer was really good. I like the sound design a lot. Stunt
Uh,
design, I think Inception had really good stunts. The Odyssey had really good stunts. I wouldn't be so shocked if The Odyssey is like the semi front runner or one of our major oh well, they're not doing stunt design until next year, but if they
yeah,
did do a stunt category, The Odyssey would be and visual effects, Interstellar, absolutely. But this was a great, thanks to the great Chris Tapley. If you, for some reason, do not follow Chris Tapley, highly recommend. Again, one of the great awards prognosticators of any era. But, Anthony, is there anything that we didn't? I guess I'll ask you this, actually. In terms of the Odyssey, since we're still sort of in the Odyssey era. I have the Odyssey predicted for 14 Oscars. I really enjoyed it. Where do you fall on the film? Do you think it's going to be a big contender? And what sort of categories would you like to see it do particularly well in?
yeah. I mean, personally, I think it's going to be like a huge contender as well. I mean, like I think it's going to probably do like a 13 to 16, like around that range, and I think it's going to be compete like a lot against Dune Part Three. I mean, personally, from what I've seen of the franchise so far, I mean, that's going to be like competing against like Lord of the Rings, like in the 2000s. Well, at least with Return of the King, because like I mean, all in all, like it's this both looks like they're both going to be really fantastic movies, and in terms of like, what will win, I mean, off the top of my head, like it's like too. I mean, it's like too early to tell. But so all in all, the Odyssey, it's a fantastic film, like in so many different categories, and I think whatever it does win in the Oscars, it'll be a win well earned.
Mm. Well, you mentioned, you are sort of open to Marvel and their cinematic achievements, and then you mentioned Dune. Are you planning on seeing both the same day? Or are you going to attempt to do like what are they calling it? A Doomsday double
Doomsday,
feature?
yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah.
doing Doomsday.
Yeah. I mean, I remember like in terms of Barbenheimer, I was like, I don't know if I can handle it. And I actually had a lot of fun. But to me, Doomsday is particularly intense because at least with Barbie, you got like a different color scheme and like an entirely different tone. But to go for like two sort of sci-fi action epics back to back, I'll say
Yeah,
yes. I will attempt as of today, August 5th, 2026. I will attempt Doomsday. Will that actually come to fruition in December? I don't know. I can't make any promises, but I'll make an attempt as of today.
yeah. I mean, I'll be sure to try as well. I mean, I'm probably gonna spend like the whole day at the theater. So,
Yeah.
so
Maybe
like,
do.
once you're watching, like, hopefully, I'll see you there.
Yeah, right. Do like some stretches like in the aisles or something in between the films.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, I usually go into the AMC's with those like recliner chairs. Like, I'm probably just gonna have
Mhm.
to stretch out so I don't get like back sores or something.
Right, yeah. Bring a blanket. You can just nap in between both.
Yeah, like, and also just like common courtesy, like, don't leave your trash like in the theater. I mean, I've worked at AMC, like, and it's just like a common courtesy, really.
That is a great point to end on, actually. I mean, I'm very glad that everyone had poured into the theaters for Spider Man, but please be courteous to people. Put away your phone, keep your shoes on, throw away your trash. Be nice to the people that work there. If something goes wrong, it's not their fault. They don't control the projectors, they don't control anything. They just, as you said, are just very nice people that work at an AMC, and
Yeah,
we should
and
always be kind to any sort of person in any sort of service industry deserves our kindness.
yeah, absolutely. And like, and if I had like time to share one crazy story, I was actually
Please
seeing
do.
Yeah, I was actually seeing the Odyssey in IMAX. I mean, like, it was like the second time I'd seen the movie, but the first time I watched it in IMAX, like I was like in there. It was like the movie was like 2/3 over. Like it was back when Odysseus was back at Ithaca, but it's like when there was like 30 minutes left. Like the theater, like I said, there was like a water main break, and so like they had to said everyone had to leave. Like it was like 1 in the morning, and it was just everyone else was just like, oh. I was fortunate enough to already seen like the whole movie, but it's like when I realized like it was like a water main break. I mean, like, and I realized, well, this is like the Odyssey, so I think, oh man, Poseidon did it.
He's mad at your the conduct of your moviegoers.
I mean,
Maybe
like, I wouldn't say like he was messing with them, but but he's got a grudge against Odysseus, so I mean, just like, I think he just like broke the fourth wall there.
that is so funny. Speaking of speaking things into fruition, I'm gonna be in New York in September, and I'm really hoping that they're still showing the Odyssey on some 70 millimeter IMAX somewhere so that I can go because I don't have access to 70 millimeter IMAX, and I would love to see it in 70 millimeter IMAX. So if anyone out there is listening, please send extra sources of income and also 70 millimeter IMAX for the Odyssey.
Yeah,
Um,
and this helps. Like, I hear that the IMAX screenings for that film are supposed to go until like September, I mean, they may just be like general theatrical screenings, but it's just something to look out for.
One can only hope.
Hmm.
Anthony, it was so fun to nerd out about movies with you. Thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate it. Tell the people watching and listening where they can find you on social media, where they can follow your work, all that good stuff. Give yourself a plug, my friend.
Thank you so much. I mean, I'm on so many different platforms. I mean, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Letterbox, Facebook, and I'm also on Substack. That's where I run my own film and a TV review newsletter, Film Highlights. I've been working on it for about a year now, and it's still growing. And so I really love to see everyone there just talking film with me, and be sure to subscribe for exclusive content. I got like some a terrific celebrity interviews coming out for it, so be sure to subscribe and stay tuned.
What is your subtech called? Like if people just want to look you up.
Yes, it's film highlights.
Film highlights. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Thank you.
I am in the midst of Emmy season over at Awards Buzz, so check me out over there. Lots of fun interviews coming. Some that I really hope come to fruition and I'm really excited about. And then we are ramping up all of our award season coverage at In Session Film. So a lot of articles coming out in addition to the podcasts and updated awards predictions. So go to InSessionFilm.com for the most up-to-date things there. Please follow. I'm at Shadan Larkey absolutely everywhere. Please follow In Session Film everywhere as well. Any sort of support, liking, following, sharing with your friends. Subscribe to the In Session Film podcast. You will find Chasing the Gold in that feed. Rate and review us there. And let me know what kinds of wacky things you guys want to talk about from now until March of 2027, because I'll be here every week. And if you are a film writer, film nerd, just a film lover, and you want to write about the Oscars, if you want to come on Chasing the Gold, I'm always looking to chat with new people. So any and all voices are welcome here. And Anthony, again, thank you so much. Hopefully we will run into each other either in New York for the New York Film Festival or in Toronto. I'd love to meet up with you in person. And thank you again so much for being here and nerding out with me. It was wonderful having you. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure getting to talk to you like this, and it's just to talk film with everyone. So again, as you said, like, be sure to stay tuned to her show, and be sure to stay tuned to Film Highlights. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we are just a bunch of film nerds that want to talk to other film nerds. So if you're a film nerd, come join us. If you are still hanging out with us, thank you so much for listening and watching. And that's a wrap on this episode of Chasing Gold. I'm In Session Film Awards editor Shadan Larkey, and I will see you right back here next time.